this dark glass that we look through, Scripture talks about, becomes clear for just a moment. There's still glass, waiting for the day when that is gone, but it gets clear for just a moment. God shows up in some profound way and leaves us just without words. And those so many times have come through my family when God's just shown up in an amazing way in my life with my family. And most recently, an amazing gift of God's grace that left me speechless was standing with my wife, my arm around her and hers around me after all the journey that we've been through, and the hard and the pain and the struggle of all of that, and being standing at the crib of our new granddaughter. I am a grandpa as of November of 2011. Emily gave birth to our first granddaughter, Eliza, and such a gift of new life and beginning for us as a family. Just a gift of healing for us, and to be able to stand there with my wife, and just so thankful that we're on this journey still together by the grace of God. And so that was amazing. My kids, so many experiences through my life, and my kids especially have kind of ushered in probably at the top of that list, those places where God has just kind of left me, even me, a loquacious me without any words to explain, what the experience was standing in a hallway in Changsha, China. It's been 12 years ago this month that we made our first of many, many trips to China to meet our first of our 3 adopted daughters, to meet Shohana. And this journey that had taken us to this place, the whole journey was one of speechless moments. Started with Emily. She took a trip with her mom to Haiti when she was about 11 years old. And it was her first exposure to orphans, to children in the world without families. It broke her heart, Emily's heart, as an 11-year-old young lady. And she came home and said, "Mom, Dad, I believe we're supposed to adopt a little sister for me. I think we need to bring," I didn't know there were children without families. We have room. I'll share my room. She was so sacrificial. In fact, she really was willing to trade her 2 little brothers in for a little sister, which was just so sweet and kind of her, wasn't it? And but she was very committed to this, and her mom said, "Well, that's a beautiful, wonderful thing, and we're going to support families and help others and pray for that, but that is not my calling." And I used to, talk in my concerts about our 3 children, whom we had nicknamed Eenie, Meenie, and Miney, and I said, "We ain't gonna have no mo." And it was our plan. That was our plan, that we were done. And Emily just said, "Well, I'm gonna pray about this because I think we're supposed to have mo." And so she began to pray and began to write letters. Some of you know about the letters she would write and leave them on her pillow at night. We come to bed and here's the letters from our 11-year-old daughter saying, "Mom and Dad, if you don't consider prayerfully adopting a child, you could be living in disobedience to God's plan for your life." So be very careful, parents, what you teach your children. It will potentially come back to haunt you. And, it's amazing. I love to tell that story because I love for young men and women to hear this and be encouraged to know how powerful your prayers can be and how they can totally wreck your parents' plans if God is in it. And we call it the glorious wrecking of our plans, because it was an amazing, wonderful thing when God began to change, especially my wife's heart, because she was the one adamantly just said, "No way I could do that. I'm not even sure, how would I love a child, that I didn't give birth to as much as my children that I gave birth to," and all those questions that you struggle with, as a mom maybe. And so that's why the miracle was so profound and so, breathtaking for us standing in that hallway in China, the whole journey that took us to that place where we're holding this little girl for the first time named Shohana. And just my wife would say it was so clear, that most clearly she has ever heard God whisper to her heart, not an audible voice, but just so clearly in her heart, God saying, "You can't explain this mystery, but you love this little girl and you would give your life for her in just an instant. And that is just a little glimpse of my love for you. You don't do anything to make me love you more. You can't do anything to make me love you less. I love you just as you are, not as you should be. And that's my complete love for you. And I've taken you in, and I've called you my dearly loved daughter." And that's the miracle of the gospel that we celebrate tonight. And my wife really got a clearer understanding of that, standing in that hallway. And I knew it was going to inspire a lot of songs. you know, as soon as it happened, I thought, boy, I'm done for, you know.